Uh, Hi everyone. So now we have done the complete analysis of the four response sheet that we have obtained. So far we have obtained around 49,000 response sheet, and based on that we have done the scaling and core versus percentile. So we will discuss everything in detail. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat. So I will explain everything. So if you have not put your response sheet on Cracku score calculator, I request you to copy your response sheet link from the CAT website and come to CAT score calculator. Put your link here, HTML format, and submit it. So once you submit it, you will get your scores. Once you submit it, you will get your score as how much questions you are correct, how many questions are incorrect, section wise, and you will see your raw scores and the scale score and percentile. So this is based on the data we have obtained. We have done the approximation and we have considered all the cases, and this is done by Maruti sir, and the entire team has been working on this from last day. So let us discuss like how the scores have been. As of now, we will discuss the complete analysis. So yeah, if you see the data in the slot 1, 50 marks, above 50 marks, there are 42 students who have obtained above 50 marks in slot 1, whereas in slot 2 and slot 3, in slot 3 this is 233 students. So in VRC, around 233 students have obtained more than 50 marks. So it looks like VRC is on the easier side in slot 1. Whereas if you look at the data at the 30 marks, more than 30 marks, still the data is more for slot 3. So slot 3 VRC is scaled down. So if you check for LRDI, more than 50 marks in slot 2, 23 people have obtained. 23 students have obtained more than 50 marks in LRDA section. That itself says that slot 2 LRDA will get scaled down. So LRDA in slot 2 is getting scaled down, and we will see how the scores are getting affected for each score. We will show you how the scoring is done and how the row score is converting to scaled score. Again, if you see how many people got more than 30 marks in LRDA section. For slot 2, this number is 600. So 600 students has obtained above 30 marks in slot 2, whereas the number is very less in slot 1. This number is just 120 in slot 1, whereas it is in slot 3, it is 180. So you can clearly see that slot 1 was difficult in LRDI compared to slot 2 and slot 3. If we go above 15 marks, the number of students who have obtained above 15 marks is 2489 in slot 1, whereas in slot 2 it is 4600 students. This is based on the data we have obtained initially. Now the score versus percentile will again update once we get more response sheet and more data. So if you have any questions regarding to okay, guys, please do like the stream if you are not like the stream, and please put your response sheet in our Cracku CAT score calculator. Once we have more data, if we have around 60,000 70,000 response sheet by tomorrow, we will again update the score versus percentile. Okay, so in quant section, if you look in slot 1, there are 39 students who has obtained above 40 marks, whereas in slot 2 this number is 62, whereas in slot 3 it is just 22. So slot 3 was on a difficult side in quant section. In slot 3, quant section was the difficult. And if you look at the data of more than 20 marks, above 20 marks, there are 1242 students in slot 1, whereas In slot 2, this number is 2400. So clearly, slot 2 will get scaled down in quant section. Whereas in slot 3, there will be slightly scaling up and slightly scaled down in slot 1. Okay. So this is what with respect to the number of people who have obtained particular score. Okay. So now we will discuss how the scores are there across all the slots. So a raw score of 50 in slot 1 will scale up to 52.98, whereas BRC section in slot 3 was easier as compared to slot 1 and slot 2. So it is getting scaled down. It is getting scaled down to 47.82. So you can see that this is what scaling will do. If you are scoring 50 marks in slot 1 VRC, your marks will be 52.98. Whereas this number is higher at the upper end, extreme cases like above 50, the jump is nearly 3 marks. But if you check at 30 marks, if you have done very well in VRC section at the above level, your jump will be higher as compared to the people who are at the lower levels. For example, let's say 30 marks. At 30 marks, your raw score 30 mark in slot 1 will give you 30.70. So nearly 0.70 jump in the scaled score. Whereas in slot 2, this number will jump to 32.26. So it is varying across the scores. Here the jump was 2.53 in slot 2. At 30 marks also there is a jump of 2.26 marks. So this shows that the data is very collated, like very different for different slots and at different scores. Now if you look at score of 20, it is getting scaled down. So if you have done well in VRC section, if you are scoring well, you will get scale up. But if you have not done well in VRC, you may get scaled down at lower marks, around 20 marks, 13 marks. So this is the scenario. Whereas in slot 2, if you look at slot 2, row score 15, you are getting scaled up, 17.06. And slot 3 is getting scaled down, that is 12.13. Okay. So now you can compare that, okay, if you are getting a particular score in a particular slot, what will be your scaled score? If you have any doubt, if you want to ask me anything, please type in. Okay. Now we will discuss about LRDA section, how LRDA scaling is done. So LRDA is the section where a lot of scaling is being done. Like if you see in slot 1, somebody who has scored 50 marks, his scaled mark will be 59.36. Okay, there is a sudden jump of 10 marks in slot 1, whereas in slot 2, it is getting scaled down. It is scaled down to 44.95 because a lot of people on the above level, 0.01% of that particular slot has done very well in slot 2 in LRDA section. That is why it is getting scaled down. Whereas in slot 3, this jump is 62.94. You can see the jump of 12 marks at the higher level. If you look at 30 marks, slot 1 30 marks will give you 35.51, scale up of 5 marks. Whereas in slot 2, it is getting scaled down by 3 marks. In slot 3, this jump is nearly 4.30. So across the slots, scaling is very weird. Scaling up is also there, scaling down is also there. In mostly LRDI, there will be higher scaling up or scaling down based on your score. If you have scored less marks, let's say if you have scored 15 marks, then the scaling up and scaling down will be very less. For example, from 15 to 17.63, this is the scale up of slot 1. and scaling down is 13.82, like 1 marks and point 1 point something, 1.18 is the scale down of 15 marks. That is with respect to LRDA section. Now we will discuss about quant section, how the scaling is affecting your row score in your particular slot. If your slot is 1, there is minute change in scaling. Like if you are scoring 50 marks, your scales, uh, if your row score is 50 in quants, then there is a slightly change, like slightly scaled down to 49.69. Whereas if you are in slot 2, this scaling is more, and in slot 3 you are getting scaled up by 3 marks. See, this is 53.1. So if you are somebody who has scored 50 marks in slot 3, your score will be 53.1. Scaled score will be 53.1. This shows that slot 2 was on the easier side compared to slot 1, and slot 3 was the difficult among all the 3 slots. Coming to 30 marks, again there is little bit of scaling up, but scale down of slot 2 is on a higher side, like 2 marks scale down. Approximately 2 marks are scaled down at a score range of 30. Similarly, at 20 marks also scale down of 2 marks is done on the slot 2, because people have done very well in slot 2 and it was easier as compared to slot 1 and slot 3. That is why it is getting scaled down. Now if you look at 10 marks, somebody who has scored 10 marks, his slot 1 score will scale up by 1.34 marks, whereas in slot 2 your marks will reduce by 2.5 marks. That is a wide, like high jump. At lower percentiles, a jump of 2.5 marks can result up to decrease of 5 percentile, 10 percentile. Okay, that is at the lower end. If you are scoring 30 marks, 40 marks, a sudden jump of 3 marks can give you 5 percentile more, 10 percentile more. If you are expecting 40 percentile, this percentile can reduce, increase up to 50, and can reduce also based on the scaling up and scaling down. So now let me take your questions, then we will discuss about other things. I know many of you are saying that the scaling is not proper, but whatever data we have obtained from 40,000, 50,000 students, we have done the analysis, and as per the normalization scaling formula, we have done that. And if we get more response rate, we will update it again. Okay. Why slot 3 scales down at low LRD? See, whatever scaling is done, it is based on the number of people who are scoring at higher percentile. That the scaling formula says that we have to consider the top 0.1% of a particular slot of a particular section. If they have done very well in particular section, particular slot, that will affect the overall scaling, and it also depends on the average score. If you look at the average score data, if I tell you, if we discuss about the average scores of particular slot, okay, let me give you the data of K. Yeah. So now if you look for VRC, the mean of the people who are in slot 1 is 17.26. It is more than slot 2, that is 15.79, but it is lesser than slot 3. So slot 3 mean the mean of slot 3 is higher than slot 1 and slot 2. This means slot 3 was on easier side, and median of slot 1 is 16. Median of slot 1 is 16 and slot 2 is 15. Therefore, we can say that slot 2 was on a difficult side as compared to slot 1, and slot 3 was the easiest among all the three slots. If you look at the data of LRDI, the mean of slot 1 is just 8.25. Just 8.25 is the mean of slot 1, and whereas slot 2 and slot 3 are almost similar. Slot 2 and slot 3, the mean is almost similar, and the median of slot 1 is also very less. Therefore, people in slot 1 are not able to score very well in LRDI. Similarly, if you look at quant section, the mean is 8.26 in slot 1. The mean is slot 1 is 8.26, whereas in slot 3 it is 7.7. So relatively, slot 2 was easier in quant section with respect to slot 2 and slot 3, and slot 3 was the difficult among all the three slots. See, the median is also 6. The median is also 6 in slot 3. So 50% of the data that we have obtained, 50% of the people have scored less than 6 marks in slot 3. So if you see slot wise, how many easy questions were there in VRC? The number of easy questions were 6, whereas in slot 2 this number is just 5. Slot 1 was easier compared to slot 2, but in slot 3 there were 7 questions that were easy. So slot 3 was easier compared to slot 1, and slot 2 was difficult as compared to slot 1. If you check for LRDA section, there was not a single question which was on an easier side. All the questions were on a medium to difficult side. But if you check for let's say slot 2, there were 3 questions which were easy. So slot 3, there were 3 questions that were on easier side. So this shows that slot 1 LRDA was on a difficult side. So this is what we are doing, and this is based on the data we have obtained so far. See, whatever data we have obtained, we have based on the data, and based on the number of students, we know that number of students who are appearing for the CAT examination. Based on that only we have made the calculation and given the scaling. Okay. Scaling is affected because the top 0.1 percentile top 0.1 percentile people, if they perform extremely well, then the percentile is getting affected. Okay. Okay. So now we will discuss percentile versus row score in every slot. For quant we have already discussed. Now for LRDI we will see that if you are scoring 35 marks in slot 1, you will get 99.90 percentile, whereas if you get 47 marks in slot 2, your percentile will be 99.90, and in slot 3 this is 36. So clearly you can see that 0.1%, top 0.1% of slot 2 people have done very well in their particular slot. That is why there is a weird scaling in slot 2. Scale down, and slot 1 and slot 3 are getting scaled up. Okay. If you see for 99.50, the row score is 29 with LRDS section. For slot 2, this is 39 marks. Again, you can see the slot 3 and slot 1 are on a similar lines, 29 and 30. For 99 percentile, the row score that you need in slot 1 is 26. But in slot 2, you need at least 34 marks. And in slot 3, it is 28. If we go at the lower percentiles, if the percentile is 80, you need 11 marks in LRDI. Whereas you need 14 marks in slot 2 to get 80 percentile in slot 2. And this number is 15 marks in slot 3. So overall, you see that slot 2, people have done exceptionally well as compared to slot 1 and slot 3. Okay. Whereas if we compare the data of VRC, the top 1.1 percentile, that is above 99.90, people in slot 1 have obtained 51 marks, but in slot 3 it is 56. So slot 3, VRC is getting scaled down. For slot 1 and slot 2, it is getting scaled up. If you check for 99 percentile, the row score should be 42 marks, whereas in slot 3 this score is 47. Now this is what will look like percentile versus overall scaled marks. If your overall scaled marks is 95.5, 95.5 is your scaled score, you will get 99.50. If your scaled score is 87.8, you will get 99 percentile. And for 80 percentile, you need a scaled score of 42 marks. This is what we have obtained from the response sheet that we have received so far. Guys, I know many people are not believing, but the scaling is dependent on many factors. As I told you, the top 0.1% people in your slot, how well they perform, and overall how people are performing in any slot will tell about the scaling process. Okay. The 75 percent in DLR slot 2. So 75 percentile in DLR in slot 2. It will be around 12 marks. Okay. Slot wise sample size. Okay. If you want to see the sample size, I will tell you. So the sample size is, yeah, this one. 14, 16 and 16,000 based on 40,000, 30 to 40,000. Based on the data of 40,000 students, we have done the scaling. Okay. This is not, we are not saying this will be exactly. If we get more response sheet, based on that we will again update the scale score and percentile. This is based on the response sheet that we have received so far, and once we get more response sheet, it will again update it. Okay. Sir, scale score for 97 percentile. So if we check for 97 percentile, it will be somewhere around 87.8, 66.8. So I will just check the data which we have, and your score for 97 percentile will be somewhere 72, 73 marks. Okay. फोर्टी मार्क्स पे क्या परसेंटाइल बनेगी? 40 marks पे your percentile will be near 80 percentile. 42 marks it is showing 80 percentile, so it will be 77, 75 percentile. Okay. So 75% in VRC slot 1. 75% in VRC slot 1, 75 percentile in VRC slot 1. So that will be, this is row score. We check for the scaled score. Okay. So you are asking about 75 percentile. So that will be around 18 marks, 18 to 19 marks. Okay. 19 marks is slot 2, so it will be 75 will be 17 marks. Okay. 60 percentile QS slot 1. Slot 2 scale score 60. If you are getting slot 2 scale score of 60, you may expect a percentile of 93 percentile. Okay. 92 row score in slot 2. 92 score row score in slot 2. See, basically you have to check. If you want to check your scaled score, just go to our website Cracku score calculator. You will get your exact percentile and exact score. Okay. So you have to go here, Cracku CAT score calculator website, upload your link of the response sheet and submit it. Once you submit it, you will get your score versus percent. What is the score, row score that you are obtaining, and what is the scale score that you are obtaining, and what is the expected percentile that you can get at that particular row score. Okay, guys, please do like the stream. 88.63 scale score will I get? 88.63, it is nearly 99 point something. It will be nearly 99 percentile, above 99 percentile. Okay, Aditya, you will get above 99 percentile. See, if you want to see what exactly you are getting, just visit to Cracku CAT score calculator, upload your response sheet here. So far 50,000 students have submitted their response sheet. Okay, so this number is increasing. So by the end of today, more people will upload and you will see your expected percentile. 103 row score. It is above 99.5 for sure. Nearly 99.6 or 99.7. You can exactly check by uploading your response sheet here. You will get section wise what is your expected percentile based on your row score. Okay. Yes, we consider IMK normalization formula and only we did that percentile in scaling. Okay. Plot 1 DILR 70 percentile. See, uh, whenever you are uploading your response sheet here, you will get what exactly you are getting percentile, and you can check whether you are getting 70 percentile. If you are at borderline, let's say you are getting 72 percentile according to Cracku percentile predictor, then it is a borderline case. It can happen, it cannot happen. Okay, but the 117 scale score, that is very good score. It will be about 99.9. Okay, it can be 99.95. How many scores have been calculated through Cracku until now? See, we have obtained 50,000 response sheet, and 50,000 response sheet on the 50,000 students have their scores and percentiles. 63 in slot 1. 63 in slot 1. So, uh, if your scale score, please calculate your scale score. Go to cracku.in CAT score calculator, upload your response sheet, then you will get your scale score. Based on your scale score, we have given you data for your percentile. If your scale score is around 113, you will get 99.90. If your scale score is around 87.8, you will get 99 percentile. Okay, so this is based on the scale score. We have updated all the theta answers in our website. So if you upload your response sheet, you will get the exact answers, exact score. Okay, So please tell if you have lower sample space and only majorly good score. Yeah, this is a legit question. I will explain you. So we know that many good students have uploaded their response sheet to the Cracku website, and we have considered the fact that at the higher percentile and higher scores, the number of people who did not upload the response sheet will be lesser as compared to the people who have not, who are not very serious about CAT and who has not uploaded the response sheet. We have factored all the cases that at lower percentile, lower scores, people might not have uploaded their response sheet. We have considered that fact also. Okay. Why is slot 3 DLR scaled up and down at the same time? This happens because the scaling formula is that you have to consider the average of your slot, and it depends on the 0.1 percentile top percentiles people who has scored what score, and that factors a lot. So there is the people who have obtained higher marks, the difference, the deviation is higher. That is why this is happening. Okay. 89.9 scale score percentile. So it will be above 99. So it's somewhere between 99.2 or 99.3. Okay. So scaling is affecting both ways. People who did well will scale up, and who did not do well will scale down. Okay. The slot 1 log question is wrong. Yes. We think that answer is wrong, and once they update it, once the CAT authorities confirm that okay they have accepted this, then only your score will increase. Okay. 68 marks in slot 2. 68 marks will be above 95 percentile if your that the score is scaled score. Okay. .43 percentile in Cracku side. Okay. I have log answer 2. Will I get -4? Yes, your score will go down by 4 marks. My scale score increased from 66 row to 66.83, yet my percentile came down to 95 from 96. See, whatever percentile prediction we have done, that is based on the feedback that we have obtained. Initially, once the paper is over, we collect a lot of feedback from the students, and based on our faculty, based on the experience of people, we have a good experience of CAT exam. So based on the factors, we create row scale score versus percentile, and based on that it was showing you percentile. Now the response sheet is out. Now we have the actual data. So on the basis of actual data, we have arrived at the situation that this is the scaled score and this will be the percentile on the data that we have obtained so far. Okay. 37 in slot 2, and even after scaling it is 37, because it depends on the slot you are in and the scores that you are getting in each section. Okay. 57 scale score percentile. 57 is above 90 percentile for sure, somewhere around 91 or 92 percentile. Okay. 40 marks in slot 2. Will I get a call? See, the call depends on a lot of factors. For example, let's say how is your 10th, 12th and graduation score, how much work experience do you have? So it depends on a lot of factors, right? So it is completely fine if you have not prepared, like if your CAT is not well, it is completely fine. So now the time is to focus on what is next. So the Z exam is coming in 1 month. We have Z exam in January. So roughly 1 month is left. Now I want to tell you one thing, that even if you perform poorly in CAT exam, it is completely okay. Many people are not able to perform well in the CAT exam because of so many factors, because of exam pressure, anxiety, or you can say they were not ready, mentally ready. Okay. So it happens with a lot of students, and many of you might have done very poorly in LRDA section. That is also true. So what you can do is, you can actually plan for Z 2026 course. We have created Z 2026 course. You can check out by clicking here. What we are covering in Z 2026 course is that we will be covering the syllabus for that specifically for the decision making section, and the entire course is designed by Sally ma'am. So who herself is the All India rank 1 in Z exam. Apart from that, we are having daily live classes for Z. So we will be having daily live classes, recorded lectures will be provided to you along with concept tests, daily target, mocks, sectionals. So everything is there in this Z 2026 crash course. So go and check out. If you have any doubts, please call to helpline number. They will explain you how this course will help you. Okay. And if you are giving the SNAP exam and MET exam, please give attention to those and prepare well and give the exams, because this is just one exam. So your one day should not decide your entire career. Please focus on other exams, whatever exams are coming, be it CMAT, be it NMAT, be it CET. Okay. Sanchita is asking, sir, it is showing 97.8 percentile. For me, is it possible to get 98 percentile? A slight deviation is possible. Always there is a possibility, but we have made so much of consideration about the people who have uploaded the response sheet and who has not uploaded. So based on that, we have arrived that your score should be 97.87, but it is possibility that you might get 98 percentile also. Okay. Ten marks in LRD is slot 3 scale down to 5 marks. Slot 3 LRDI scale down. Okay. So if you want to understand how the scaling is done, Maruti sir has explained in this video. You can check this video on Cracku CAT score calculator. You will get this video. If you want to check on the website of Cracku top 2025 toppers list, here is the video to make you understand how scaling is done and how normalization is done. And it is explained by Maruti sir himself. And this scaling and entire thing is done by Maruti sir only. Okay. So we have, you should know that Maruti sir has been doing this scaling thing from the last many years. He is very good in it. Last year, our percentile prediction was so accurate that people were getting 99.3 percentile and we predicted 99.29 percentile. Okay, so be assured that the percentile is done considering all the factors, and we will updating this percentile as we get more data. We will be keep updating. Okay. सर 58 मार्क्स एनसीओबीसी क्या करना चाहिए, जीडीपीआई या ओमेट्स? It depends on you. If you think that 58 marks, what is your percentile that you will be getting? Let us see. You will be getting about 90 percentile and you are NCOBC category. So the colleges that you can get at that percentile, are you okay with those colleges, or you want to give one more attempt, or you want to focus on omits? It depends on your choice. If you are okay to go with new IIMs, baby IIMs, and the colleges which are in your percentile range, then you should start preparing for the GDPI. So 66 general, what to expect? 66 marks, 95 percentile. So you can expect 95 percentile. And for most of the baby IIMs and new IIMs, you are eligible if your sectional is clear. You can also apply for colleges like MDI, IFT, or some IITs also. 90 marks, slot 3 PWD. I think you will get mostly good colleges calls because you have a category advantage and your score is 90 marks. 90 marks itself is above 99 percentile. So you will definitely get good calls. If you want to see, what colleges you might get, we have a tool on our website. So if you visit CAT score calculator, there we have Okay, so calculate your CAT score 25. So here if you go, when you enter your response sheet here, okay, you will get a link where you can actually fill your details. Your college's expected college will be given to your at your score. What happened to the log question in quant 1? The question, the answer given by CAT authorities is definitely wrong. We expect that they will consider it as wrong and they will give marks to the people who have marked the answer as 0. Okay, but we have to wait. The gen non-engineer male I am Shillong possible with 95 percentile. See, it depends on a lot of factors. You might get some calls, but you have to perform well in the interviews. Okay, and different colleges have different criteria. So what you can do is you can visit our call predictor. I am call predictor. Okay, go to Cracku website. If you go to Cracku website, click on more, and there is I am call predictor. Here you have to fill your details, your name, gender, category, are you PWD percent, 10, 12th, undergraduation score, what is your undergraduation stream, all the details when you fill, and if you submit it, how much score you are getting, VRC scale score, QA, DLR, and then you click on predict my calls, you will be getting the colleges that you can get a call from. Okay, 62, 34, 14, anything possible. 62 marks. 62 marks is roughly around 92 percentile. Okay, 92, 93 percentile. You might get some calls from top IIMs, baby IIMs, but you have to think general non-engineer male. Okay, see, the calls are dependent on a lot of factors. There are some colleges which put a lot of emphasis on academics, be it 10th class, be it 12th class, graduation score, or your work experience. So a lot of factors are there. So if you want to check whether you will get a call or not, you have to go to I am call predictor. You have to fill your details. Once you fill your details, then you will get what are the possible calls that you can get, and this is updated with the RTIs. We have filed so many RTIs and updated the data in our system, so if you fill the details you will get accurate results. 78 marks, general engineer male, 2 years work experience, what calls I can expect? So your score is 78. 78 is 97 or 98 percentile, 96, 97 percentile. So for JAM candidates, the calls can be from MDI, IIFT, or you can expect calls from IITs like IIT Kharagpur or IIT Kanpur, or there are other colleges also. Okay, guys, please do like the stream. There are 111 people watching. At least 150 likes should be there to this video. We are putting a lot of efforts and we want you guys to like the stream, so it will motivate us. Please check your updated scale score and percentile. The link is pinned in the comment section. In the chat you can see the pinned comment. If you click there, go there and upload your response sheet, you will get your scale score and percentile. Okay, all right, thank you so much guys for joining in, and all the best for your future, all the best. So if you are somebody who is just starting the preparation for OMETs, please pay attention to that is very important exam. So all the best, and thank you.